Live. Today we're talking about productivity hacks, tips, success, and how to outperform everyone. My name's Douglas Dennis. I'm the Alkaline Life Coach. And my clients ask me sometimes, are surprised about all the different experience that I have at such a young age. And to me, it's a no-brainer because I've been living this way for a long time. But for other people who might want to understand how to get an edge, this one is for you. Feel free to ask questions in the comments, and when I finish touching on everything I want to talk about, I will answer your questions. So first I'm going to pull up a calculator really quick. And welcome as everyone's joining in. Thank you to whoever gave me a thumbs up. You rock. All right, so I got a calculator pulled up because I want to share something really simple with you. And also a disclaimer at the beginning, this is going to really annoy and anger some people. I don't know why, because of cognitive dissonance. But just so you know, some of these things are going to be so simple that you're going to you might think it's stupid. Awesome. Hi, good to see you, John. Thank you very much for the compliments. So how to outperform everyone. How to master one thing, how to master more than one thing. I heard growing up that in order to master something, you need 10,000 hours practicing it. Lisa, peace and love to you as well. Nice to see you. So 10,000 hours to become a master at something, that sounds like quite a long time. However, when you're enjoying what you're doing, then it can go by really quickly and you'll only notice in hindsight that you actually did anything. So when you're really passionate about what you're doing, time flies and you can learn quite a lot. But I want to break this down. I'm not going to talk about passion or something like that. If you want to talk about passion, I have another video I talked about passion or this and that. But this time I'm talking about performance. And it isn't always linked to passion, but I have another video about that. So how to outperform everyone. Hello, nice to see people tuning in. Hi, Carrie, how's it going? And also, I'm not bragging, but I'm going to mention several things that I have become good at over a long period of time. I wasn't just amazing at everything I ever did as soon as I did it. So I don't want to give that impression that I'm just naturally good at anything, because I think this can apply to anyone. You don't have to be good at whatever it is at first. You know, I've been a beginner at so many different things, so many different times. Okay, I see your comments coming in. I will definitely get to those at the end of the video. So stay tuned and I'll do the Q&A at the end. And keep them coming in. I see your comments rolling in, and thank you for participating as well. Awesome. So here are some of the things that I've been able to do in the last 10, 20, 30, over 30 years, actually. And I've been thinking about this recently because I recently did a stretching video, full body stretching, and I was a martial artist. I am a martial artist. I started when I was 8 years old, and I've done martial arts for over 25 years, on and off. So I didn't do it every single day for 25 years, but I've done it for 25 years, and that seems amazing, first of all, because a lot of people don't even think I'm that old, so score one. But it's just something I was really interested in as a child. I wasn't doing it for 25 years in the future. I was doing it for right now, right then, when I was a child. So I was a child back then. I don't even you know, all of that work that I put in already happened. And also, one of the things I'm confident about, there's not that many actually, but I'm really confident about a handful of things that I can do better than anyone else. But I can't do, like I said, I'm not just amazing at everything. I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. But for the purpose of this video, I'm really good at painting and artwork because I did it when I was a child before I even remember learning how to do it. So I just remember people saying how good I was when I was a child, pre-kindergarten even. And so I spent years and years and years working on that. I didn't know I was working on anything. I was just a child having fun drawing or painting or pastels, whatever it is. Luckily, I learned a lot of different things. So now looking back, I have all these different things, martial arts, visual art, and stuff that I did really far back in my life. And then when I was a teenager, I focused mostly on music, and then I learned Japanese. And I can speak Japanese, but I'm not doing that right now. So if you look at everything I can do, it looks quite amazing, as if people think like I'm learning it all at the same time. But so that's why it can look amazing now, decades later. So all of these things are stacking up. And during my 20s, I actually didn't always have confidence about all of these skills because I couldn't, in hindsight, see where all of it was going. But now that I'm into my 30s, I can see back and how everything's playing out and how it is now making me successful. So if you want to jump ahead and achieve whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, first of all, I have other videos about setting goals. I won't go deep into that in this video at all. Definitely set some goals, even short-term, mid-term, and long-term. Because if you don't really know what you're doing, for example, back when I was learning Japanese, I wanted to speak Japanese. It was a very simple goal, and I would know when I accomplished it or not. So your goal should be measurable. That did you achieve it yet or not? It should be easy to check it off the list and have a celebration about it once you achieve it. Otherwise, if your goal isn't really, if it's too vague, you're never going to hit it. And it's always, if it's to be happier or something, when do you know when you got to that level? So it has to be measurable. And also, I learned several different instruments. I can play guitar, bass, drums, but I did this years and years ago. So the past few years, I've been researching health, the past probably 10 years, but especially in the last, I've been very focused on alkalinity and stuff like that in the last 3 years. So I'm becoming more and more focused, as I recommend that you do as well. The younger you are, the more interests you can have, and at some point you need to start narrowing your focus, or you're just going to be thrown into the wind and scattered all over the place. People like me that are really creative and hyperactive have no problem finding different things to do, but it's focusing that is the issue. And I see a lot of people out there don't know what their focus is yet, and that's okay, but keep this in mind that focus equals success after time goes on. Now I want to get out the calculator and show you something that, so I've got my iPad here, let's see. Okay, so here's what normal people do. Here's what average people do. They work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, times 5. You know that is 40 hours a week, that's a full time. So how much do I work? First of all, I don't consider a lot of what I do work, but that's another topic. We'll get into the philosophy of that later if you want in the Q&A. But I'm going to consider work because everything I'm doing has a purpose and is achieving some certain goal. And also I try to combine my passions with my career so that I can not consider what I do work and still, outperform everyone, which is what this video is about. High performance. And if you're already a high performance person, then you already are doing these things. But if you want to take it up, quantum leap, we're not just talking about, next level. No, I'm talking skip 10 levels. So 40 hours a week is what most people do. And then as soon as they get home, they turn on the whatever TV. It used to be TV, now it's the iPad, and they veg out on Netflix or sports or movies or whatever, YouTube. This isn't vegging out though, this is learning valuable info, so that's a little bit different. So let's talk about what my work week is like. I work, and I quote air quotes because, like I said, I don't really consider all of it work. I try to enjoy it, although some of it is a grind. It's not always fun and games. It's mostly grind, but... So I work about 15 hours a day. Let's use this for an example, and then we'll do another example with less. Times 7, because I work 7 days a week and not 5, equals 105. So 40, let's divide that by 40. It's almost 3 times, it's 2.6 times more. That's per week. So let's take 105, well, let's do the 40 times, that's 40 a week. How many weeks in a year? 52. 40 times 52. 2,080. 2,080 hours. Most people work at their job or whatever they're doing. 5 days a week, 8 hours a day is 2,080 hours a year. So let's just say it's 15 hours a day times 7 days a week is 105 times 52 weeks, 5,460 hours. So it's almost 3 times more. If you multiply that by 10 for 10 years, that's 54,600. 54,600 hours in 10 years. Remember at the very beginning, before maybe some of you tuned in, I said it takes 10,000 hours, according to, there was a book about this a long time ago. 10,000 hours to master something. So this is 54,000 hours, so you could master 5 different things, or you could be a grandmaster of one thing in 10 years. Most people don't even become the master of one thing in 10 years. So this way you could be the master of 5 different things in 10 years. And I don't sit around and calculate how much work I'm doing. I just did this for the purpose of the video. Really, I just wake up and I go for it all day until ... Sometimes it's until 2 a.m. Sometimes it's until 6 a.m. Are you willing to work until 6 a.m. the next morning? If it's something that you really care about and something really important, then you would be willing to do it. But if it's something, just some BS job for a paycheck, then you're just gonna, as soon as you get off work, you're gonna speed home and start watching stuff. This is a remote control, which do remote controls even exist anymore? Not really. But are you understanding my point? I'm gonna go into the comment section. I saw some comments rolling in and answer some of your questions. This is a really simple point. And that's why I said some of you are going to be annoyed by that it's too simple. It's just work your butt off. What does that even mean, though? What does work your butt off mean? Because a lot of people think they're working their butt off, but they're not getting results. And, in my 20s, I was working my butt off 7 days a week and going, when's it ever gonna start working? And now I can definitely tell it's been working. So it's easy in hindsight to see the evidence piling up. So keep at it. Make sure what you're doing is worth it. Because if you're gonna do it for 7 days a week and in 5 years you're gonna quit, try to become quicker with deciding when you're gonna quit. Although, I never used to quit anything, just, hang in there forever. But now I'm more and more focused, which means saying no to that, quitting that, and focusing. Focusing means quitting that and quitting that. I know that's hard to do, easier said than done, but it's up to you to actually put this into practice. So let me look at the comments here and answer some of your questions. I saw some juicy questions rolling in, so. All right. Netra, nice to see you. Thank you for the compliments. That's always nice. There are some haters floating around out there in the world, so it's nice when people are positive. So, Netra said, I struggle with not being able to fall asleep due to narcissistic abuse and low self-esteem, stress, adrenal fatigue. I was going to say adrenal fatigue for a long period, like 3 years. Okay. Very interesting. I know how frustrating and terrible that must be, and I feel for you. So I suffered from similar things before for over 6 years. So I understand what that can be like. That's no easy thing. That's no easy answer. It's good that you already know about adrenal fatigue. At least, that's part of, I was going to mention that happened to me as well. Actually, that 5-6 years ago, I was dealing with, I found out about adrenal fatigue, and it was like the first thing that actually helped me. And if you know most of my other videos are about health, because years ago I had adrenal fatigue and some other issues as well that I was searching for the answer, researching all night for years and years. I learned a lot about that, actually, and that's what I've been talking about on my channel. So definitely subscribe and check out some of my other videos, because you're on the right track and I think you're in the right place. Adrenal fatigue, I do also have some one-on-one clients. So if you really need it, you can reach out to me. There's a link in the bottom of the description. I do free consultations and stuff like that. I will give you some tips. Sleeping is very important to heal your adrenals, definitely. So your sleep is disturbed because of a narcissist. Have you gotten away from them yet? First, if you haven't gotten out of there, get out of there. Hopefully you're away from the narcissist so that you can at least start working on starting over again and getting your life back together. Another one is, I'm reading a book which I kind of recommend, I kind of don't, but it could help you, so I'll mention it. Okay, you're free, good job. First of all, that's most of the work, so that makes it easy. You're already away, that's great. 7 years, yeah. I won't go into my past experiences with narcissists, because then I might get really angry and I don't want a video about that. So, but I know, I get it, and the struggle is real. Here's another, man, a lot of things are popping into my mind that might help you. One of them, write on your mirrors, every mirror in every room. If there's a mirror, take a lipstick or a dry erase marker and write, "I'm enough," on the mirror. It sounds corny and cliche and whatever, but trust me, I've been doing that and there was a whole movement about this. I saw some TED Talk about it a few years ago. I've been doing that for years. Even every time I move, I make sure to write on the mirrors, right where I'm going to look at it, because that can help pull you out of a funk. You know, you're likely to go into the bathroom or something eventually, and you'll see that "I'm enough," and it'll help you. That's one thing. Other things I recommend for adrenal fatigue are health related, and check out my other videos. So let's see, let me go on to see if there are any other questions. And yeah, healing, there's mental, there's spiritual, and there's physical healing that needs to take place. And I'm not sure which one you need the most, but physical, you need a body to live. So start taking care of your physical body like you never have before, and baby yourself physically. Don't trust what pop culture calls health food, because it's BS. I talk about that in other videos. And heal physically, and then it'll be easier to heal mentally later, I think. In my opinion, it's much easier to deal with psychology when you're physically fit. Then you can, it'll take time, but you can reprogram yourself. The book I was going to mention is called Rewired Brain. I've got it right there. Now, this isn't my favorite book on the topic. Actually, I have other books, but this is the one I've most recently read. And the reason, some of it annoys me, but I think it could be really helpful, especially the introduction to it. He simply explains neuroscience, brain chemistry in very easy to understand ways. So that's the reason I liked it. However, I would write it better. No. I have written a book about this and haven't published it. So let me see what other questions you have. I'm a sugar junkie. I need anything chocolate. Okay, I have a chocolate replacement that's healthy that I've invented. Check out my brownie recipes, and I have an actual chocolate bar you can make. That's coming soon. But yeah, chocolate's no good for you. It's bad for your adrenals, and if your adrenals are burnt out, no caffeine, no sugar, no chocolate, that's all acid. But like I said, check out some of my other videos for more info about that. Jesse, incredible, said, "Haters gonna hate, keep up the good work." Thank you. Thank you very much. Awesome. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about at the beginning about productivity. I wasn't trying to just brag about all the stuff I can do. To me, it's not impressive. To me, it's just what I like to do. So for you, what you're good at, for you might not be impressive to yourself, but that means that's good. That means you have a talent and a skill. Focus in on it. And there's also something called the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, I think. And it basically says you're going to get 80% of your results from 20% of your effort. So a lot of effort is being wasted on tasks that aren't necessarily getting measurable results. And one way to deal with this is to start measuring everything. If you're in business, check out the analytics. Where's your money coming from? Are these, 20% of your customers are 80% of your income? That's what that means. And usually there's a 90-10 rule, which is like 90% of the results come from 10% of the effort. That way, if you focus 90% of your effort on that 10% that actually gets your result, especially over a long period of time, you'll be able to look back and be amazed at how far you've come. It's quite amazing things. And urgency is key, because right now is all we have as far as our perspective. It's always now. It's never the future. It's never the past. It's always now. So right now, what can you do to be high performance? You can prioritize where you're getting your results. If you're self-employed or if you have your own business, even if you have an employer, even if you're an employee, man, you'd be the best employee ever if you actually went to work trying to find where it gets 90% of the results and help everyone focus that in on that 10% that gets the results. That would make you an outstanding employee. Or if you're an athlete, what exercises or what routines are getting you the most results? And then just focus in on that and quit the other stuff. So I will touch on something towards the end before I sign out here. How to not get burnt out. Because I think a lot of people, when they hear 7 days a week, they shrivel up and their tail goes between their legs and they just go back to Loserville and watch TV. But I'm not any better than you. No one else is any better than you either. Bill Gates is equal to you. Warren Buffett is equal to you and me. What are they doing with their time? What did they do? And I don't look up to them, actually. I'm just name dropping names I think everyone knows. But what would you look up to, future version of yourself? What example do you want to be setting for the future generations? Do it now, because now is what we've got. So how to not get burnout, because 7 days a week, 15 hours a day, rest is very important. I did a stretching video the other day, and I mentioned in the stretching video that I've been injured before stretching. I'm a martial artist. How can you get injured stretching, I thought? Well, winter, not warming up, basically, going to overstretching. Overstretching is a technique that you can use to become more flexible. You have to know what you're doing, you have to be warmed up, and you have to be healthy and everything like that. Overstretching is not for everyone. So I've injured myself that way by pushing it too far, too fast, physically. And who paid the price? Me, not anyone else. So you're the one that's going to reap the benefits or rewards of your actions. And to not get burnt out, you have to rest. So you can still rest and work 7 days a week. If you're focused on, some people can't. Still 6 days a week would be better than most of the public. Or if it's not 15 hours a day, 10 hours a day. Still, you could add a 30-minute or an hour nap and still, one of my grandfathers was a doctor. He took naps every single day in his practice. He would close for lunch and take a nap. And I used to take naps in university, and I did extremely well without even trying, because I was healthy at the time and paid attention, and that's it. And most people can't even get that far. So if you don't sleep enough, try taking naps. For some people, a nap is going to mess up their schedule. Your health is more important than anything. I said 20% of the effort gets 80% of the result. So, or even 10% of the effort gets 90% of the result much of the time. And you can find this in nature. You can find examples of this. There's a book, The 80-20 Rule, that explains a bunch of different examples of this in real life situations that would help it make more sense to you. But as far as a business goes, the idea is that probably there's a small handful of clients that are bringing in most of the revenue, and then a bunch of other people getting a little bit. Lisa said warm-ups are a must. Oh, what did it just say? The comments sometimes just flash on the screen and then disappear. Oh yeah, you found out that warming up is important? Absolutely. So right now I'm mostly stretching and not really exercising because my chiropractor told me, go figure, he said 80% stretching, 20% exercising, if I must exercise, which I'm not going to push it. Why risk it? So I'll be stretching a lot. I just did that stretching video. Check it out. Like I said, I have over about 25 years experience stretching. So now it's becoming really relevant. The older that you get, you can still be flexible. Don't believe that just because you're getting older that you're supposed to get decrepit and your health starts deteriorating. Reject that idea. It's not true. But that's another rant for another day. If you have more questions, now's the time to ask. Otherwise, I will be on my way. Thank you so much for tuning in, Lisa and Carrie and Netra, Jesse, John. I appreciate the interaction during the live videos. It makes it really interesting. Is there anything else that you want me to touch on? Is there anything else that you want me to make a video about? Let me know in the comments. Definitely a new subby. Thank you. Awesome. Good to know. You might be my 1700th subscriber. I was only like 2 or 3 away. Although just one, if I can help you improve your life, then just one subscriber is all I need. It is fun though to grow the channel. And Nitra, did I mispronounce your name? Welcome to the channel. You are very welcome here. And feel free to ask questions anytime. If you check out my old videos and have comments, the comments are welcome. And I take the feedback seriously, the positive feedback from the comments, and I use them to make the new videos. So I really do appreciate the feedback and the comments. If you have a recipe idea, I have one of my playlists is a cooking series where I take delicious, maybe unhealthy foods and I make a healthy version of them. So definitely those are good for everyday use. And the stretching, I recommend to watch that stretching video, if not every day, at least 3 days a week to get started. But I think you'll really like stretching once you get into it. 5 days a week would be a good balance. That way, if you forget one here and there, it's not a big deal. Don't put pressure on yourself to be perfect. Just try to go through the motions, especially at the beginning. You don't have to do it perfectly, but I really recommend that because health is wealth. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Have an amazing day on purpose. And this is how to do it. Peace.